Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Ahem, okay, admit it, it was a bit over the top. Soon, Junlin's expression returned to normal, and he didn't feel distressed at all. For him, realms are just decorations. As long as he faces a strong person in the Tribulation realm again, his cultivation level can be restored immediately. Moreover, the reason for the regression in cultivation must be related to Yaang Valley. Junlin rubbed his chin, playing with the taste. It seems that it is the trick of the medicine master. He wants to forcefully suppress our cultivation and then compete in this valley. At the 9th level of Qi training, the destructive power is indeed relatively small. Even if everyone lets go and fights, it will not have an impact on the valley. However, it is inevitable that you will feel a little uncomfortable when you suddenly change from a boss to a rookie. Yao Zun, he understands the righteousness well and must be doing this for the sake of fairness and justice. Since everyone is at the 9th level of Qi training, there is no suppression in terms of cultivation or magic weapon. Li Wujia shook his head and sighed, hey, but in this case, the knife I carry can't be used, because the difference in realm is too big to activate it. His ink knife is a 9th grade spiritual weapon. It's impossible to use the Qi training realm alone. Fortunately, I have it. In Li Wujia's hand, there was a modeled kitchen knife that looked very old. But judging from the weak spiritual energy fluctuations, it can be seen that this is a magic weapon. Huh? Junlin asked curiously, to this day, you still have this most common magic weapon? Magical weapons are the lowest level among all magical weapons. Above them are treasured weapons, spiritual weapons, mysterious weapons, and fairy weapons. Li Wujia said embarrassedly, Master, to tell you the truth, this is the first magic weapon I obtained when I entered the path of spiritual practice. This kitchen knife has been with me since I was the weakest, even until I still have it. Li Wujia stretched out his hand and gently stroked the mottled blade, his eyes showing nostalgia as he murmured, Old man, I didn't expect that we could fight side by side again. As a swordsman, what can you do without a sword? Only when you have a handy weapon can you show your strength. Otherwise, without a knife, what's the difference between cutting off your arms? Junlin nodded, so that's it. Ding, it has been detected that the host has arrived at Yaang Valley. Do you want to sign in? The system prompt sounds. Sign in. Junlin thought to himself. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting a big jar of the best enlightenment tea. If you have nothing to do, you can make some tea. Top-grade enlightenment tea, practitioners will have an epiphany after drinking it, and both their cultivation and skills will improve by leaps and bounds. Junlin shook his head, it was just useless to him. Forget it, it can be used to quench thirst. At this time, Hong Qianye narrowed his eyes and stared at the silver-haired young man, his hands hidden in his sleeves quietly moving his palm power. In the past, he would still be afraid of the other party's cultivation, but now, everyone is at the 9th level of Qi training, it's very fair. I saw the opportunity and went all out, I can't still be defeated, right? Hong Qianye has already thought about how to torture this man, such as tying him to a tree and whipping him hard, burning his butt with fire. But the next sentence from Li Wujia directly dispelled Hong Qianye's idea. By the way, I heard that when monks fight in Medicine King Valley, if their lives are in danger, they will be automatically teleported out, so we don't need to worry, just do our best. Li Wujia said with confidence, holding a kitchen knife. Hong Qianye's mouth twitched slightly. If this is the case, he will definitely be punished after he goes out. With the previous painful lesson, if he is not sure, he dare not rashly tear his face. Junlin glimpsed the strangeness of this eldest disciple from the corner of his eye, sneered in his heart, and knew what this person was thinking. It doesn't matter, just continue to train. Suddenly, there was a rustling sound in the bushes. Bai Xiaoxi noticed the movement and stretched out her finger. She said with surprise on her face, hey, look over there. In the bushes, moving medicinal herbs emerged one after another. Some had leaves, reflected the stars, and crawled with tangled roots. Some were shaped like sunflowers, emitting brilliant light and imposing. Some were like dogtail grass, shaking their heads. The essence of medicine contained in their bodies was enough to prove that they were all precious medicines. You know. Spiritual medicines have spirituality and are relatively common medicinal materials. And precious medicines have opened their spiritual wisdom and have learned to think like humans, and can even move freely. God helps me. There are so many precious medicines delivered to my door. Li Wujie laughed. Hong Qianye frowned, huh? These low-grade precious medicines are all at the 9th level of Qi training like us. Qi training realm is divided into 1 to 12 levels in total. They are not surprised that precious medicines have cultivation. Generally, precious medicines will naturally try to cultivate after opening their spiritual wisdom. But even so, the basic combat power will be naturally weaker than that of human cultivators, because the medicinal materials themselves are not suitable for fighting. The advantage is that they have a long lifespan. As long as they hide in a hidden corner, they can slowly outlast the cultivators who covet them. This is also an important reason why it is difficult to obtain precious medicines. At this time, a 3-leaf clover emitted a spiritual wave, and a general meaning was formed in Yi Junlin and his mind. Friends, Grandpa Yezuan has given us toys again. We can catch this group of human races and torture them severely like the previous few times. Another sunflower showed an evil smile, and the laughter was particularly demonic. I will strip them naked and let them run around the valley. What's so fun about this? I think it's interesting to let them run upside down, so that these human races can feel the taste of being humiliated in this Medicine King Valley. Another precious medicine that looks like a dogtail grass was very excited, and his whole body was shaking with excitement. These bold remarks made Yi Junlin and his eyelids jump. Li Wujie said with a strange expression, "Damn. When did even precious medicine dare to be so arrogant?" If they were outside, they would all hide here and there, afraid of being caught by human cultivators, and swallowed and refined. How dare they be so rampant as they are now? Hong Qianye sneered, "Humph, you really don't know how to live or die." He waved his hand casually, and a ball of purple flame flew away, dragging a dazzling arc of light. Swish! The dogtail grass shook its head and shot out a sharp wind blade. Boom! The wind blade and the flame ball exploded, rippling a lot of energy fluctuations. What? Hong Qianye was a little surprised. Because he was afraid of burning these precious medicines to ashes, he only used 40% of his strength in the previous attack, but even so, the power was considerable, enough to take down most of the Qi training realm cultivators. As a result, it was actually blocked by a dogtail grass. This? Li Wujie almost thought it was an illusion. Even the move that he had to be alert to block was easily resolved? This precious medicine in Yaang Valley seems to be not simple. Well, you stinky woman, you dare to attack me. I will strip you naked and hang you on the tree to beat you hard. Dogtail grass emitted a strong mental wave, and it was very angry. Hearing this, Hong Qianye's forehead was bulging with veins, and he said coldly, "You are looking for death." A mere precious medicine dared to speak so arrogantly to him? It's really ridiculous. This time, Hong Qianye mobilized the magic power in his body, and his palm slapped out a surging red flame, which was extremely scary. Stinky woman, come again? I won't tolerate you. Dogtail grass shook its head frantically, shooting out countless sharp wind blades, tearing crisscross gullies on the ground. Boom. The scene was amazing. It's hard to imagine that this is a battle between 9 levels of Qi training. Hong Qianye felt it was ridiculous that he was in a stalemate with a precious medicine. He immediately increased his offensive frantically. Dogtail grass couldn't hold on any longer, and retreated again and again, screaming in the flames, "Why are you still standing there? Come and help me. I'm going to be burned to death by this stinky woman." The other dozen precious medicines laughed and seemed to be watching a play, but after all, they were in the same camp and couldn't just stand by and watch, so they attacked Hong Qianye. Swish swish swish. Several powerful elemental energies shot out, and the originally surging flames immediately showed signs of being blocked. How could it be? Hong Qianye's face was ugly. Now that he is at a low level, many of his moves cannot be used, and his own advantages are greatly weakened. Huh? Yi Junlin frowned. Although his disciple is a treacherous person with a traitorous mind, he has the help of a heaven-defying skill and a fairy-grade fire spiritual root. Even if his cultivation level regresses to the 9th level of Qi training, he can still beat a foundation-building cultivator outside. He is extremely cruel. Now, he is fighting back and forth with more than a dozen low-grade precious medicines. This is abnormal no matter how you look at it. Brother Hong, I'll help you. Li Wujie held a kitchen knife and performed the basic sword technique of Chaos Heaven Sword Ju. Although the power was a weak version, it was also a unique skill in the Qi training realm. In an instant, the battle situation changed again. With the addition of Li Wujie, Hong Qianye completely let go of his hands and feet, and successively played the initial level of fire attribute spells to suppress those precious medicines. Come on, Brother Hong. Come on, Brother Li. Bai Xiaoxi waved her pink fist and shouted excitedly. Yi Junlin was amazed. Interesting, very interesting. Is this the Medicine King Valley? It is true that medicine is king. He knew very well that with the qualifications of Hong Qianye and Li Wujie, even if their cultivation level regressed to the 9th level of Qi training, it would be easy for the two of them to sweep the foundation building together. But now they can't take these precious medicines immediately. Is it because they are not strong enough? Wrong. It's the strangeness of the precious medicines themselves. You can't imagine that each of these precious medicines is a top-notch genius when put outside, and can crush most of the human cultivators. The power contained in the basic moves that are casually issued is surprisingly terrible. This is too unreal. After all, medicinal materials are not good at fighting by nature. This is a recognized fact in the cultivation world, so they can only hide from here and there to avoid fighting with human cultivators, but now, one by one, they show extraordinary fighting qualifications, which is really outrageous. Could it be? Yi Junlin's mind was full of ideas, and he suddenly thought of something. He looked up at the sky above the Medicine King Valley and found a faint golden ripple flashing by. If I'm not mistaken, these precious medicines can exert such strength, all thanks to the formation blessing here, and the owner of the formation is the Medicine Master of the Year. The truth is now revealed. It's all the work of that old man Medicine Master. Suppressing our cultivation, but exaggeratingly enhancing the strength of the herbs themselves, what is the purpose of this move? Yi Junlin rubbed his chin. If you say that suppressing the cultivation of all participants is for fair competition, this is understandable, but deliberately raising the strength of the herbs, allowing these herbs to ride on the heads of human cultivators and act tyrannically, this is a bit too much, right? This is clearly a protective operation. Yi Junlin began to have a reason. The purpose of Yao Zun opening Yaoang Valley was to attract a group of big enemies every 100,000 years, and then let the herbs here abuse them crazily. The most outrageous thing is that no one has told the truth before. It's as if they knew it all and deliberately wanted to pit the later ones. Good guy, it turns out that because you have been caught in the rain, you want to tear up other people's umbrellas. At the same time, this battle is about to come to an end. More than a dozen treasure medicine plants were killed until nothing was left. Each plant was beaten to the point of losing consciousness and fell to the ground in a mess. Don't burn it, this fairy sister, please spare me. The dog's tail grass was burned by the fierce fire, and its whole body was quickly scorched black, emitting bursts of refreshing medicinal fragrance. It was sending out mental fluctuations begging for mercy, which was completely different from before. A arrogant attitude. Death to me. Unexpectedly, upon hearing this title, the murderous intent on Hong Qianye's face became even more intense, and a brilliant burst of angry flames burst out from his palm, completely burning the dog's tail grass into ashes and scattering in the wind. Old woman. You will be punished. The sunflower yelled when seeing its companion in such miserable condition. Oh. Really? Hong Qianye laughed angrily, and with terrifying fireworks lingering in his palms, he dodged away and raised his hand to slap Sunflower hard. Sunflower gathered momentum and shot out a blazing golden light, which was enough to tear the earth and pierce the rocks, but in the end it was no match for Hong Qianye.
Ah.
Sunflower screamed, and its entire body was turned into powder, which filled the mountain forest.
Huh.
Li Wuqia's movement was very agile, and the kitchen knife in his hand turned over at a dizzying speed. Every plant of the precious medicine was chopped into pieces, and the cuts were smooth and flat. Soon, everything was solved. Take good care of it. You can make soup later? Yi Junlin said. Yes, master. Li Wuqia said. Hey, this one is still moving. Bai Xiaoxi squatted on the ground, looking at a dead vine that had been cut off but was still twisting like a snake, and curiously poked it with a branch. The withered vine seemed to know that there was no hope of survival, so it tried its best to stir up the last vitality. The ends bloomed like flowers, and then released a bright silver ball of light into the sky. The roar of the breaking wind sounded, and then the silver ball of light exploded in the air, and a bright silver axe pattern appeared in the sky. After finishing it, the withered vine finally fell down weakly, and there was no movement again. Li Wuqia frowned. This is. Looking at the silver axe pattern, Yi Junlin looked strange and couldn't help but said, is this a distress signal from the axe gang? He finally figured out that because of the wisdom born from the precious medicine, he would form cliques like humans after staying in Yaang Valley for so many years. The dead vine just now was obviously calling people to come over. In other words, they are about to face a siege from a bunch of precious medicines? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Hong Qianye sneered, no matter how many helpers come, I will burn them all into dregs. Li Wuqia coughed a few times and said, Senior brother Hong, please take it easy. These are precious medicines. I suggest you just cook them. Snort. Hong Qianye turned his face away and said, it depends on your mood. Yi Junlin smiled and said, you must have discovered something while you were fighting. As soon as these words came out, both of them nodded. Master, this is not the power that medicinal herbs can exert at all. If we follow this trend, the ones that will appear later will probably become stronger and stronger. Most of the monks who enter the Medicine King Valley will probably. Li Wuqia deliberately stopped his words. Did not continue speaking, but the meaning was already obvious. How many of those monks can handle the precious medicine that requires a lot of effort to suppress even them? It is estimated that many people will definitely suffer at this time. Unfortunately, they will become the playthings of this group of treasures, and their dignity will be trampled on and humiliated. Hong Qianye said, I seriously doubt that the medicine lord must have done this on purpose. How can this be done by the sages of the human race? It is clear that he wants to favor the medicinal herbs of this Medicine King Valley, and he also arranges every 100,000 years he opened it up once and let the outside world think how generous he is, but in the end he came to deceive his own people. As a former true immortal, Hong Qianye despised Yozuan's actions. Li Wuqia frowned and said, no way. It is said that Medicine Lord is good at charity, has superb medical skills, and can bring people back to life. He was famous in ancient times and was a highly praised power in the eastern region. I don't think he would set up the trap was probably out of love for the herbs, so that's why the herbs here were given preferential treatment. Do you know what you are talking about? If you really care about medicinal herbs, why open the Medicine King Valley? Why don't you just close it permanently and make this whole thing? Hypocrisy. Hong Qianye responded directly, with a very sharp tone. Well? Li Wuqia was speechless. Because he also knows that his statement is completely untenable. Yi Junlin waved his hand and said nonchalantly, okay, let's take a step at a time. He didn't feel any sense of crisis at all. Instead, he felt that this place was full of novelties. Now that he was here, let's see how powerful the herbs in this Medicine King Valley were. Other side. On the throne made of intertwined vines, a creature the size of a palm and with a body like a ginseng sat with its roots stretched out. Its whole body was like gold, exuding surging vitality. This is golden ginseng. An existence that transcends precious medicine is the true king of medicine. Any medicinal material that reaches this level will make even those in the tribulation realm excited, because this kind of thing is of great benefit to them. At this time, this golden ginseng stood tall, like a boss, with a majestic tone. Did a member just send out a distress signal? Reporting to King Shen, it is indeed true, said one of his subordinates. Humph, who dares to provoke my axe gang? Is it the other waves of forces entrenched in Yaang Valley? Golden Ginseng said coldly. It shouldn't be. After so many years of peace and harmony, who would take action against our axe gang? A K-Pok-shaped treasure emitted doubtful mental fluctuations. Is it that group of humans? After all, counting the time, today happens to be the time when the Medicine King Valley opens. Impossible, the human race is so weak, how can it threaten our noble medicine race? That's right, every time humans come in, they will be brutally tortured by us, but they still want to eat us. How stupid. Immediately, other treasures and medicines began to question this possibility. They generally believed that the human race was very weak and could not pose a threat to them. Please give me peace. A strong mental wave swept across, and the treasures on both sides were as silent as cicadas. The golden ginseng moved, and its roots stood like legs. Anyway, the Medicine King Valley has been opened. Why not take advantage of the moment to capture some humans for fun, and take a look at who is so bold and dares to attack the axe gang? As it spoke, it took out a silver axe from nowhere, which was obviously a magic weapon used by monks, and then raised it high, full of momentum, just like a gang boss. Let's go.